Hey chat, we lost those levels, but SuperSonic found them. It is time for Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels 1 Warp by SuperSonic. Let's go into it.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Yes, this is Lost Levels, which is the Famicom Disk System version. We didn't necessarily see this game in the States because I guess the devs thought it was too hard for the Western community to play this game, but you know, we can prove them wrong with that. But yeah, this is going to be the one warp category. We're only going to be taking one warp zone, which is in World 5. So we're going to be playing through Worlds 1 through 4. Normally in the 2 warp category, or I guess any percent in this case, we would be taking the warp zone in 1-2 to 4-1. And then we play through all of World 4, then go to the warp zone in 5-2 to go to 8-1. But in this case, we're not taking the warp zone in 1-2. So that's the only major difference in this category. And this is actually fairly short as well. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick reset. And of course, time begins when I gain control of Mario. So this will be fairly quick here. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so Lost Levels. This is actually my favorite Mario game. Mostly because like it still has that Mario 1 look to it, except there's like some minor differences. Like if you stomp on an enemy, you get a little more height from the bounce. The frame rule system still applies in this game, just like in Mario 1, in which, you know, 21 frames, 0.35 seconds. But for those of you that are joining in to know what frame rules are, it's basically the bus stop analogy that we kind of went through earlier. So every level has a bus stop, which is the flagpole in this case, and it leaves every 21 frames or 0.35 seconds. So depending on what time you arrive at the level, that'll pretty much determine what kind of patterns you'll end up getting in the later levels as well. So, but for this one, we're going to be just taking the top route here in 1-2. And we're just going to go into this.
Taking the top route just like it's normal.
Yeah. Totally fine too.
That.
Yeah. Also, the fireworks are different in this game as well. So the way how fireworks work in this game is if the number, like the last number of your coin count matches the last number of your timer. If it's even, it'll give you 6 fireworks. If it's odd, it'll give you 3. And there's no like 1 firework in this game, so they took that out. If you end up getting a multiple of 11 in your coin count and the last number of the timer is matching, then you'll get a 1-up plus either 3 fireworks for odd or 6 fireworks for even. So there might be some instances I may end up trying to get a 1-up on purpose just so I could, you know, have a little lives for leeway there. But hopefully we don't need to get too many of it. Alright, so 1-4, so pretty similar to what we did in SMB1. But I'm going to do something a little different here. So instead of going for the fire flower right away, I'm going to be setting up for a trick. Oops, got a little caught up on those pillars there, but that's fine. We're going to wait for Bowser here. Alright, so we grabbed the axe, but we also took damage to Bowser as well. So you kind of noticed like Mario was flashing a little bit. Or it may not look like he's flashing on the stream because it's 30 FPS. But yeah, so we're basically big, but we're technically small at the moment. So if I take damage in this state, I will actually lose a life here. So when we grab the mushroom, we turn small. So it's pretty much like...
What?
Yeah, this is the small fire glitch. So what we're doing here is we're actually becoming small Fire Mario now. This is actually a really cool glitch. It does...
That's cursed.
It does take a little bit of time to set up, but for whatever reason, it's in this game as well as SMB1 as well. So this is in the game's code. So you have the sprite colors for Fire Mario. And you'll kind of notice that big Fire Mario shows up whenever I shoot a fireball because there is no animation for that when you're small. So it'll look like... what's a good comparison for this? You can think of it like Goro from Mortal Kombat, how he has like 4 arms. Like you'll kind of see that sometimes, like if I'm jumping and I'm shooting a fireball. You know, it just looks really funny, but... Yeah, you only see it for like a couple frames or so, and it doesn't really affect your hitbox in any way, so... Yeah, you remain with the small hitbox. Just the only thing, you cannot break blocks with that. And yeah, just like a Battery posted in the chat there with my emote. That's how it looks like.
Wow. It looks like soccer. Much more dangerous soccer than usual. I don't recommend trying that at home.
Yeah, you can also like shoot enemies from underneath sometimes as well. I think usually the game like this check every other frame for that, because there could be instances where if I try to shoot an enemy from underneath, then I'll end up taking damage instead. So yeah, just like that, we're gonna go into 2-4. I'm actually gonna do a shell kick combo here to try to get another 1-up. So I'm just gonna utilize this Koopa, go down this way, build up a combo to get him 1-up. Now we're just gonna go through here. This is probably the only level where Bowser doesn't shoot his fireballs. Oops, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a bit of a close call.
Well done. Yeah, I can tell, but good job.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
You are rolling with it.
Yeah, now we have 3-1 coming up here. And we are reunited with the Hammer Brothers. Although they won't be too much of a concern in this case. Why am I grabbing this? I already have Fire Flower. What am I doing? it's just instinct.
It's alright, double the flower.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I thought I lost fire momentarily there, and I just instinctively went for the power-up block. And that was an oopsie.
It's better to have to back up than not. Like, it's a good instinct.
Yeah, especially with this game, because of how the difficulty ramps up, like a lot more than SMB1. I pretty much do know where all the power-up locations are in this game. So in case I end up getting, or taking damage or whatnot, then I'll be able to power back up again with no problem. And here we have 3-2. So, just like in SMB1, we had the water level in 2-2. In this case, we have it in 3-2. So this one's a little bit, because of that coral reef there. Okay, there's actually one blooper in particular right here. Okay, he decided to go right. Sometimes he can go left, and if we try to swim towards it, he'll end up taking damage from that. Okay, so that is 3-2. 3-3 is coming up here. There is actually one jump in particular that is a little difficult to get, so hopefully I'll be able to get this one, because it is a pretty long jump I gotta do. Let's get past these guys. This is the one right here. That jump is very tough to get. And yeah, they also have invisible power-up blocks as well. So like the Kaizo blocks. This game right here is the epitome of Kaizo Mario, because this is pretty much where it originated from. Like you try to hit an invisible block and then you just fall into a pit. That's a Kaizo block. And there's actually some instances where that can happen. So we do see those ROM hacks out there. This is like one of the inspirations from this game. Alright, 3-4. Gonna head up here. That is actually a 3-frame window to get that jump on the top. Gotta wait for this fire bar to go around. There we go. Okay, that was pretty good. Okay, so we're heading into World 4. So if it was the 80% category, we would have gone into World 4 from there. But we get to see a couple extra worlds from that. Okay, so now we see red piranha plants. Even if you stand next to the pipe, the piranha plant will pop out anyway, because it just completely ignores where Mario is, and it's just gonna pretty much appear when it wants to. However, if you're like pretty much on top of the pipe, then they will not pop out. So yeah, they just try to make the enemies just slightly more aggressive in this game, but not that badly though.
Actually, thinking about this the whole time, but haven't asked yet. Been watching you jump on those flagpoles. Is there any strategy on whether you should jump higher or lower?
So in Mario 1, we would normally grab it at the top of the flagpole, but in this game, there's a little more leeway because sometimes the flags will be placed a little further out than normal. So we would have no choice but to grab it from like the middle or something. Sometimes we want to try to get Mario to just be a little bit above the block so that way it doesn't cost too much time to, you know, just kind of let go of it and such. But yeah, in this game, we can pretty much grab it wherever, but I still try to grab the top of the flagpole regardless. But yeah, it doesn't really affect too much of it. Okay, 4-3, this one has a bad bullet bill pattern sometimes. Actually, we got the good one, so actually good. There we go, that was a pretty good level. Okay, 4-4, this level is actually a little bit difficult because we want to try to keep our fire flower here. Because if we end up losing it, then we have to grab the power-ups back in 5-2. And there are some pretty gnarly fireballs that have come out here. It's gonna... Oh, I didn't get enough speed there, but that's okay. Got a little bit of a pixel there, interesting. Okay, now if I was gonna shoot his fire, I was not ready for those Koopas. Alright. There we go. Very nice.
Oh, nice job. I can already just tell looking at this versus the previous game how much harder this is.
It is a lot harder, yeah. And since this is a Famicom Disk System game, there is going to be a loading time between 4-4 and 5-1. And it actually depends on which console you're playing on, like how fast the loading times are going to be. So if you're playing on a power pack, like the loading times is a lot faster. If you play on an EverDrive, it's roughly 5 seconds. If you play on the actual Famicom Disk System, then it's about anywhere between 6 to 7 seconds of loading time. So for this game, in terms of the timing method, we do have a with loads and without loads on the leaderboard. And we take the with loads time. Actually, no, I think we take the without the loads. It's one of the two. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but there we go. So yeah, that was a super jump there, so I pretty much jumped into the Koopa going in an upward motion, and if I manage to get the stomp correctly, then it'll just shoot me up into the sky pretty much. So it pretty much saved time a little bit compared to hitting the invisible blocks. Okay, so 5-2, this is where the warp zone is. Instead of climbing up the vine, we're actually going to do this. Oops. Get in the pipe. Oh my gosh.
That's not normal.
There we go.
Whoa!
So that is called the devil spell trick. You pretty much clip into the pipe and
Well, I like
yeah,
it.
because the pipe entries, it's actually the right side up pipe entries. They never flipped it upside down for whatever reason. So we're actually able to clip inside the pipe and enter it from inside the pipe as well. So what I ended up doing there is I pretty much advanced the screen far enough, oops, to trigger the warp zone. Oh, that was not a good pattern there. That's okay. So yeah, we triggered the warp zone by positioning Mario in such a way so that the loading zone will appear. So this actually eliminates the vine climb animation, which takes a lot of time. And yeah, just by doing that trick, it saves a good chunk of time there. So, alright, 8-2, there's actually a vine we gotta take in this level, otherwise it'll be an infinite loop. So the devs decided to place a vine up there, and you gotta bounce off the Koopa to get it, otherwise you won't be able to. Alright, and just like that, we're just 2 levels away.
Oh my goodness. It's so fast. Chat, that means you're running out of time, by the way. To donate towards these file name bid wars, I just want to mention that every single one of them is within $20, and 2 of them are within $5 of being taken over. So any donation will absolutely make a difference on those bid wars. If you want to see them moved, you know what to do. Click those bid wars when you donate.
Yeah, definitely. So I've had a bit of a theory with this level, so we kind of noticed that we're in the sky, right? So my theory was this could be the precursor to Mario 64 because the final world in that game is Bowser in the sky. So I don't know, I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, could that be how they thought of Mario 64? So like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it definitely feels that way. Alright, so now we're in the water section. We are actually in water, even though it looks like we're not in water, but... Okay, I'm actually gonna grab this mushroom for safety here. There we go. And then go down this pipe. Okay, we got this room, and then one more room after this. Got this really long hallway here. Okay, gonna slow it down just a little bit. You know, we're gonna grab fire just for fun. And this right here, this is Bruce. He was not being a pal. There's actually another fake Bowser in 9-3. We call him Doug Bowser. No relation to...
We call him that.
Oh, that time, by the way. Whoops.
Oh, time! GG!
I totally forgot. I was like... I forgot I was like at the last room there.
That's all right. Sometimes you just go so fast you forget the game is over.
Yeah, so... yeah, pieces paved with kingdom saved. Hurrah to Mario, our only hero. This ends your trip of a long friendship. So, yeah, they gave us a different Princess Toadstool sprite in this game. There was another game which was a promotional FTS game called All Night Nippon Super Mario Brothers. It's basically a mix of Mario 1 and Lost Levels together, and that's only released in Japan. And in that game, Princess Toadstool is wearing a geisha outfit, which looks really cool. And then all these toads are basically the different radio personalities from the Fuji radio station. So yeah, they never released that in the States, but I do have a copy of that at home. And it is a pretty fun game, very interesting too. So, but yeah, this is Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels 1 Warp. So what we're going to be doing here is we're just going to wait for just a little bit, because at the title screen, I'm not sure if anybody knows before, but there are like stars on the title screen. So every time you beat the game, it'll add a star to your title screen. And if you end up adding 8 stars on the title screen, you'll be able to unlock the letter worlds, which is worlds A through D. And those worlds are a lot harder. So I'm just going to go ahead. Yep, we see all those stars on there. And you can actually fill up 2 rows of those stars, so you can just beat the game as much as you want, pretty much. So, but yeah, that's the game.
So, Chad, if you have access to the Lost Levels now, you know something extra you can do.
Yeah.
Very
so
good.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Amazing. Well, those 2 runs were fantastic. I was so glad to be able to be on host for those. Where can chat find you? Well,
you can find me at twitch.tv/supersonic_. I pretty much do speedruns on the daily from Monday through Friday. Except for Wednesdays, I usually do casual games on Wednesdays, and then on Saturdays I stream on YouTube, which is at SuperSonic71087. I stream with my best friend on there. We usually play like various Switch co-op games and mostly Monster Hunter. But yeah, like you can pretty much find me on either of those platforms, just doing a ton of speedrunning. So there's that.
Fantastic. Well, I know I will. These were amazing runs. Thank you so much for being here with us. Chat, we are going to take a little break, and then we are going to be back for an incredible charity interview with Little Warriors. Don't go anywhere.